And we're back.
Hello.
Welcome back to the quiet year in Mistperch on I'm Not Trying to Kill You. We've just completed autumn, which means we're about to start winter, which means that the game could end at any moment. Currently, a young boy is becoming the high priest of a dead bird cult. And laborers are planning to murder him for it. There is a young woman in town who can bring the dead back to life, but it's creepy. There is mist covering the town, allowing those who breathe only mist to walk amongst those who breathe not mist. And the first, I need to hide the autumn cards and show the winter cards. I'm just going to give them a quick little shuffle.
And an expedition has gone off to visit the old village. Yes. So I can't see a countdown on that yet.
You're right. I didn't put it on there. Oops.
Yeah,
okay.
I think
It was
5 weeks? Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yep.
All right. So, who took the last card?
Em did.
Emily?
Yeah, so
it means that Luke is drawing the first card of winter.
Let's do this. I swear to God, if the Frost Shepherds come... I got good news. All right, I got the Ace of Winter. Now is the time to conserve energy and resources. A project fails, but gain in abundance. Or, now is the time for hurried labor and final efforts. A project finishes early, but gain a scarcity.
So the current projects are child becomes priest, murder of the child priest, or go into the old place.
I think I'm going to say it's going to the old place. I think it finishes early, and I think the scarcity we gain is like a scarcity of certainty. I think whatever is brought back throws like everything we thought we knew about our culture and the history of our people and our traditions, like all of it is just thrown completely into doubt.
What does that look like?
I'm still working on that. Yeah, I'm still working on that. I'll get on that.
A young boy becomes a priest. Whose thing was that?
That was me too.
What does that look like?
Yep. All right. So yeah, if someone could add that scarcity for me. Yep. Cool. So, does he become a priest yet?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yep. This is the week it finishes.
Yep. Cool. Okay. So. Yeah, I think Obi is like physically changed. I think there's this string of rituals that goes on over, night after night after night under the light of the moon as it waxes and it wanes. And then I think on a no moon night, he takes a cloak, which he has stitched like feather by feather as the nights have gone past, and like anointed with blood and like sung strange chants over it, and he wraps it around himself like an egg. And I think that happens on the first, like the first night of the new moon, and then I think for like 2 days it just sits there, this small unmoving shape that is Obi wrapped in the cloak, and it sits there for 2 days and like nothing, and then the last night of the new moon, I think the egg hatches, and Obi steps out, and I think Obi is feathered now. And I think he is like hollow, like light boned and hollow boned. And I think the shape, the bone structure of his like feet and ankles into knees is not entirely human anymore and is kind of weirdly bird-like. Like you can definitely tell there's something changed about him. And also he's got a magical moon scepter that lets him use his magical girl powers. No, he does. No, it's a bone. It's a long bone, and it's topped with a bird skull, and it lets him use his magical boy powers. Yep, that's my boy. That's my boy Obi. And then Emily, were you the one who created the expedition to the village?
Yeah.
Because I think you
Yeah.
should. Hmm?
You're
Yeah.
the one that technically decides it, I think.
True.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think they go there and they discover like all fucking kinds of shit. I think including the fact that I think we were far enough into the post-apocalypse that we maybe didn't realize entirely that was the case. Like I think one of the things that is found there is like records of the 21st century, like the time that was, detailed, intricate records of all of the knowledge of that past time. And I think that's a large portion of what like blows the minds of the community. And we realize a lot of things, including probably that we're not technically human. Like we're not Homo sapiens. We're probably like a close cousin, but like the fact that we can breathe the mist is a pretty clear fucking sign, right? Like, but the mythology had persisted of like, yes, the human race, us, the humans. And it's this shocking, like, existential crisis of like, what, we're not? Oh, okay.
I love that. Like, is
Yep.
it like these records show that there were human beings as we
Yeah,
players
yeah.
understand them, but they died and we are something else.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like it's like it is like an inescapable kind of like truth.
I love that.
And,
It's
like,
we're
all
just
of-
imitating them.
Yeah, and like all of the, and I think it also kind of like reveals, not so directly but through implication, that like all of our cultural forms are our weird attempts to mimic
Mm-hmm.
that like were descended from our weird initial attempts to mimic their culture. Like the reason that our kinship understanding of kinship structures is so fucked up is because I think we don't, like our species, I don't think reproduce entirely like humans. I think that's why we don't actually have like grandparents and parents and obvious kin terminology.
It's great.
And so
because,
like what we do have is like a weird approximation of this human system, but it doesn't quite match. Yeah, that's what I think.
That we thought the
that.
picture of the priestess had a painted face.
Yeah.
Shit,
Right.
she's just fucking human. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
that's
dope as hell. All right, cool.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's my big mind-blowing
I love-
revelation for the game.
I love it.
And now I'm gonna
God,
figure out how to draw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's-
just,
that's-
do a little sketch of that.
Yeah, that's why all our stick figures look so fucked up, because they're not actually meant to be people.
They
Look at
really
that,
do
chat.
look
It
like
was
that.
intentional. Haha.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. Art.
Quality game design or something.
Well, if
Yeah.
it's based on our art, we're clearly a race of scarecrows.
Look, I'm into it. I watched Howl's Moving Castle. Turnip Head was cool.
Yeah, I think like just leaving it as we're not quite human as we understood, but that's cool. Did you actually take an action?
I haven't done so yet. I'm busy drawing my ghost humans. There we go. I did
That's so fucking good. I love that so
them.
much. That is exactly the kind of thing I was hoping from those runes. I was like, yeah, I want some just really weird.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna start. I think I'm gonna start a
I'm going to
conversation.
discard a contempt token for sure.
Oh,
because
yeah. I think I'm gonna hold a
Exciting.
discussion.
not so much.
And I think it's a question. And the question is like,
Are we human or are we dancer?
I mean, like a little bit. I think it's like we have separated ourselves from the mist breathers and others because we believed ourselves more human. If none of us are human, what does that mean for our relationship with them? Like, if the premise on which our xenophobia and bigotry sat is in fact false, what now? So
the human-faced labor with the socialization says, if we are not human, they are not human. Does not mean that we are the same thing. We have evolved past them. They're nothing compared to us.
I think there's someone. There's a round-faced bun-head woman who is responsible for keeping track of the like familial charts, and she says this is this makes sense of markings in the old books that said that we were given the gift of breathing the mist by those who went down into it and made children with the mist breathers. But perhaps we were once more human than we are now, and that and that we are now at least still part human, more so than the mist breathers.
I think what's the name of the girl who gained power from the Kappa? Is it
Akemi?
Akemi. I think Akemi speaks up from a dark goth corner.
It's funny because there's two dark goth.
I know exactly.
I think they're. I think they're.
I feel like they need to fight.
I think they're sulking next to each other in the same dark goth corner, pretending that the other one isn't there.
Yeah. Yeah. She speaks up and she says, all things go to the same place in death. We are not that much like each other.
Cool.
And then I think the last thing that's said is one of the elders who quotes an old human aphorism that I think the people of Mistperch had remembered in a mutated form, and then among these documents was the original form of this record, and everyone was like, oh, actually that makes a lot more sense. And I think she says there's no use crying over spilt milk. What's done is done.
I'm so curious about what they said, what they thought it was.
Before that, right?
There's no use crying.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly, right? Everyone, all the children would be like, but grandkin ancestor or whatever the equivalent title was, what does it mean? Why does it mean what it means?
Yeah.
Explain this. And they were just we got nothing. That's just what it means, son.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
I don't know.
Right.
And everyone was like, oh shit, yeah, that makes a lot more the milk is spilt. I get it.
We don't cry the milk.
You don't cry it.
Yeah. Revelation. Yeah, it probably was no use crying spilt milk.
Yeah.
And kids were like, crying milk? Do people do that? Oh yeah, the mist breathers. They do that.
Of course.
Now, unfortunately, that's the end of your turn, Luke, which means that Todd has to draw a card.
Come on, Todd. Come on.
Winter is harsh, and desperation gives rise to fear-mongering. Choose one. Spend the week calming the masses and dispelling their violent sentiments. The week ends early. Declare war on something, someone, or something. This counts as starting a project.
Todd, you got it.
I think the laborers. The laborers have declared war on any religion that is not the religion of the priestess of war. It's obviously war is the way. So they already have a project for the boy. Now it's the time for a project for the girl.
Oh no.
Nice.
Divinity.
Yeah, it's
There's
the
gonna
boy.
be
And,
nobody left when the frost shepherds come. They're all dead.
yeah,
They're gonna get here like,
yeah.
Oh
Plot
well,
twist.
our job here is done.
Plot twist. The real Frost Shepherds was
Were
the
us all
mist
the
that
time?
made us all go crazy. Like
Yeah, exactly. We were the frost shepherds all along.
it's a metaphor. The Frost Shepherds aren't like literal beings. They're just the mist and the chemicals in it.
Breathing in the chemical.
so how long do we think it's gonna take to kill the girl?
Mm,
This
I'm gonna
is
take
a
fucking
declared
temp
war.
token.
I feel like she's weirder and more contentious, and therefore it will take like
Yeah.
less doing to kill her in a way that no one will care to investigate. If that
Well,
makes
no,
sense.
they've
So-
declared war. This isn't something.
Okay,
new.
okay, fuck. If they've declared war and it's public,
Yeah.
like a week,
I reckon like 2 or 3.
she's a fucking child.
She also has the power
was
over
my
life
thought.
and death, though.
Yeah.
How do you kill someone who has that power?
That's a good point. In my head, she can like bring other people back to life. That doesn't make her immortal.
Yeah, that was my thought too.
but that's
I
just
kinda
my
thought
that's
three
just my
was-
headcanon, right? Like
I kind of
Yeah,
like 2 or
I mean,
3.
yeah. I'd go 2 probably.
Two.
Alright, 2 weeks.
I must admit, I find calling it a war with, the number of people that are left in this town is really kind of funny because it
It's like
seems like
5
there's,
guys.
it's like it's like 20 people in the whole town and 10 of them are kids.
it's getting more and more intimate until finally a war is just what you call it when two people
Yeah.
argue.
Exactly. I mean, we don't know how humans describe things, right?
Yeah, that sounds like war to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what is it good for?
Eradication of... No, sorry. I'm going to deal myself a card
What?
if we're all good.
Yeah,
I still have an
doesn't
action.
Todd still have an action
Yes,
to take?
that's an action. Yes.
The card
right.
started the
Sorry,
project.
I forgot. I
Yeah.
thought that was your action because you were doing a project. Sorry.
I think we're gonna discover something new.
I'm
The
excited.
laborers who have started to declare war all wake up with these like ashen burns of handprints on their
Oh,
chest.
shit.
All right.
Well, that's
That's
metal as
cool.
fuck.
Mm-hmm.
You do have to
Yeah.
put it on the map, though.
Well, I'm gonna draw the priestess now having like gray hands. Easiest way to do it.
Cool.
Yep.
Alright, alright, I'll draw a card. Deal 1 card to Ashton.
Come on, Ashton.
Swear to God, it's the Frost Shepherds.
I mean, it'd be pretty fitting.
They just kill themselves.
What didn't you know the Grey Shepherds have grey hands and they leave their handprints over everything they touch? Like,
Yeah.
we could reincorporate that shit.
What is winter like in this area? How do communities react to
God.
the weather? Um... The mist becomes so thick you can barely see your hand in front of your face from when you're outside. People burn fires in buildings so that the convection current from the fire will like clear out the house. And to find anyone in this space, you kind of end up playing a game of like Marco Polo. And people rarely leave their homes unless they need to, for fear of wandering off in the mist, getting lost and never being found.
Okay, so it's Canberra in mid-July. Cool.
Yep. A boy is murdered.
No. No.
Right.
I think Hawk's about to give me a contempt token because I think there is discovery,
So sad.
which is that a boy is returned from the dead.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
I mean, like,
Like, well, it depends, right? It
No,
They're
it's
depends
fucking
on
not
ghost
that-
birds.
that- no,
two
that's-
two boys.
that's disingenuous to the. No.
I don't feel like a Kemi would care about it. Like,
Well, see,
Yeah,
the
true.
it
project.
seems to me like they were
well,
rivals.
And I
Yeah,
can't.
so
I
Todd
can't
describes
undo
the project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to finish your project first? Let's do
Yeah.
it by the rules, and I'm not going to be disingenuous. I'm going to do something else.
So this intense pea soup rolls in, and this is what they've been waiting for.
Yeah.
They knew that once winter was in full effect, they could have the cover of the fog.
Mm.
And so, creeping, they could do this in the middle of the day. No one would know that they were in the streets. They come up behind them, single knife to the back of the neck, carry him off into the mist, roll him down the hill.
Cool.
I'd like to roll to resist level 4 harm.
You roll all ones.
So my discovery then, because I want to be a discovery. I think when the body is discovered, it is found by someone who hears like strange clawing and crunching and breaking sounds, and they climb down the side of the hill into the valley where it is clearer. The mist is less dense here. Near like there's some running water or something, and they don't see the body. They see a pile of a mound of shifting charcoal grey robes, occasional bone white hands and faces emerging in it, covered in blood, as they and then whoever it is like steps on a twig or something, and it snaps, and the chapel, is it the chapel? Is that what they were called?
The parish.
The parish look up from feasting upon the body of their dead priest, their mouths covered in gore. They like leap up and like flap their giant their cloaks and become like mist themselves as they disappear into the fog.
Yeah, I totally forgot those guys existed.
That's the end of my turn. Also, Luke, you lost your bet.
I know. Ah, it's fine.
All right.
Now, wait. As Todd said, we're playing Price is Right style, which means as long as it happens before your bet kicks in week 6, I still win.
No, I have week 4.
Oh shit! All right. Okay. You gotta pull this out for me. Come on. I believe in you.
The 2 of spades.
Sorry, Luke.
Cross shepherd.
A headstrong community member takes charge of the community's work efforts. A project fails, and then a different project finishes early. Or a headstrong community member tries to take control of the community. How are they prevented from doing this? Due to the conflict, project dice are not reduced this week.
Did you count down your project of murdering the girl on my turn?
No.
Just
Yeah, where are we at with
One.
projects? There's
Just,
only one project, and it's murder the
I
girl.
think it's murder the girl.
all right. Yeah, excellent, good. I think I think that's what I'm gonna go with then. Yeah, I think what this, I think it's the second one. I think what this is because if there's only one project, I don't want to go with the first one because I can't use both parts of it. So I think what it is that like spurred on by the success of their assassination of Obi, the leaders of the laborers try to um, are like, you know, try to double down on their plan to assassinate the girl, but one of them, you know, someone gets cocky and sort of like their plot is like partially discovered, and they have to like replan, rework, because whatever they planned on doing is not going to work. So I think project dice are not reduced this week, because someone knows what's up. They're not going to be able to pull the same trick twice. And I think for my action, I think I better start a project. We've only got one project. I think yep, we've been talking about it a long time, and I think there is, but no one's come to an agreement because there is so much contention between the members of the village. But I think a project is begun. I think in this part of winter, it's very easy, as we've seen, for fractions of the community to just to do things unbeknownst to the others, because everyone is so separate from each other. People literally don't see what others are doing. So it is this time in which all of the community kind of fragments and everyone just does the things that they believe are right. So I think the fraction of the community who believe that the mist breathers should come to the town, should join them, like strike out into the darkness of winter to bring, you know, the people they believe to be their brethren home with them. So I think they're going to start a project to bring in some of the mist breathers.
I am discarding a contempt token.
How long do we think that's going to take?
I think I'm going to take a contempt token.
I feel like those are the best kind of actions, the ones that prompt like someone to take contempt and someone to discard contempt. I feel like that's good.
I also like it because like I feel like we've hit on a genre of action types that make me. I feel like we keep having. I'm like, I will discard a contempt, and both of the others are like, I will take a contempt.
It's like this is what always happens to me in Dragon Age. I always end up with a group where like whenever one person likes a thing, the others will be like, that thing fucking sucks.
Yeah, I think we're starting to develop some very clear opinions about what is best for this town.
But yeah, how long do we think it will take to gather their brethren?
I want to say 3.
I would say 2, but it's winter.
I'd say
so
4.
4. So there's 2 votes for 4 and 1 vote for 3.
So what do you reckon, Em? 3 or 4?
Does the player establishing it get a vote?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Everyone agrees.
Everyone agrees.
Because if you say 3, Emily, I'll go with 3.
I feel 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I don't feel like they're long. I don't feel like it's hard to find the mist breathers now.
I don't
but it
think
is
it's
hard
gonna
to
be
get
hard
there.
to convince them either.
So find the right ones.
Yeah. So 3.
Okay. Cool. I'm drawing a circle around them to indicate bringing
I love how
them
much simpler our drawings get as we go along.
to us. I know. Yep.
Okie doke, Luke.
Hmm? No.
Oh,
It's
wait,
me
is it Luke?
again.
Or is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Luke again.
Oh boy. Here we go. I'm trying to remember which card actually is the Frost Shepherds, and I don't
Isn't it the
literally
king?
remember what it is.
I think it's
Hmm?
king.
It's King of
So,
Spades.
that makes a lot of sense. Ho ho. An infected outsider arrives seeking amnesty. They have some much needed resources with them. Choose one. Welcome them into the community, remove a scarcity, but also introduce an infection into the community. Bar them from entry. What scarcity could they have addressed? How does its need become more dire this week?
I like that card. That's a good card.
Oh boy. Okay. I know what I'm doing. All right. When we went to the old human settlement, we disturbed a stasis pod.
Oh, yes. Fucking humans.
Yep, it's a human.
Love it.
And then a human arrives infected with some human disease. And I think it's one of those like colonial first contact type scenarios. Like I think it's the fucking they've got like
It's
a cold.
chickenpox. It's chicken.
They've got it's chickenpox or it's like influenza. Like it is something that to them is like totally chill and it will pass very very quickly. But to
If
us
our
it is far more
system-
serious.
Yeah, if
And
our
it's-
system is not used to it at all, it's gonna ravage the population.
Yeah, and worse, it's an airborne pathogen, which means that the mist carries it.
Oh, yes. Yeah, okay.
Well, in this case, it could be waterborne and it'd still be carried. Honestly.
Oh yeah, it's waterborne. That's better. It's waterborne pathogen. Yeah. On the plus side, I get to remove a scarcity.
What's scarcity?
Health.
I think I'm gonna say I'm removing the scarcity of certainty
Yeah.
because I think this person has a bunch of answers.
Yes, I like that. That's great.
That's
Yeah, so I think they're able, like, I think they're very mildly sick, right? Like they're a little bit pale and they got like some dark little baggies under their eyes, and like they cough every so often. But people are like, this is just what humans are like, right? Like no one knows that they're sick.
Yeah.
And I think like and yeah, like they I think they're like welcomed into the house of one of the elders, and like they live there, and like spread like this knowledge and this certainty through the community. And I think at the same time, a couple of days later, this like plague starts to spread, and I don't know that anyone actually makes the connection between those two things. I think the symptoms of whatever version of it they have are so much milder that no one actually puts it together.
Probably just mix it up with like the death illness.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like
Like
they're like,
everyone's
oh, it's that
already
witch
kinda
girl.
sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of the witch girl,
I was gonna
Yep.
say.
Shit.
Yep.
Yeah. I
Todd.
delayed her death, but it was inevitable.
While she's with this new disease starting to spread, she visits the house of one of the laborers whose like wife, partner, or whatever is starting to come down with this. And as she's looking over them, a series of gunshots ring through the village. She's tossed out into the street with no honor.
Nice. So I feel like the bodies have really been piling up. But that said, like a lot of them have fallen in autumn and winter. So I feel like almost like a lot of the bodies are still quite well preserved just by natural forces. I want to make a discovery.
Well, a lot of the bodies have been coming back.
No, there's that too. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like I want to make a discovery, which is that one of the
names. Just notice all the names just say RIP.
Yeah, I know, right? Literally all of the ones we've got. Fucking hell.
I
Yeah,
think
I
that's
feel.
mostly on Todd though. Like,
Hey, you guys killed Wu Shan.
I'll take credit for
I
that one.
killed the
Thank
medicine
you.
seller, so that's true.
Um,
And I
Yeah,
killed
I
Sharon,
f-
so.
I feel like the human stranger reveals the location of the ancient burial grounds of the people. I feel like to us it's I feel like to like the generation currently living in Mistperch, it's like Valhalla, right? Like it's thought of as being like an abstract afterlife on some other plane, like the Hall of Heroes where all of the honored dead are buried, and they're like, no, like it's a real place. Like it's only like a couple of weeks walk from here, and so I think I don't want to preempt myself by making an extra action. I'm just going to leave it at I think some fevered speculation begins as to who counts as a hero and deserves to be buried there, maybe, and who doesn't. And I'm going to leave it at that.
That makes it Todd's turn.
Yep. And I'm going to draw a weird ancient graveyard thing.
This is Frost Shepherds. I win the bet.
It's true.
Come on, Todd. You can do it.
The time has come to consolidate your efforts and your borders. Projects located outside the settlement fail. Our remaining projects will reduce by 2 this week. Or, someone finds a curious opportunity on the edge of the map. Start a project related to this discovery.
There are currently no projects running. All the murders have been completed.
Well, actually, we do have a project still.
Oh, do we? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Bring the people in.
One that's located outside the settlement.
Oh, so they're located outside the settlement. It is. Oh no. What are you doing?
Also, I feel like I'd like to make the point that the name of this show has never been more wrong than it is right now.
Yeah.
But it's not Ash doing it.
Yeah, though ironically, Ash is not responsible.
That's true. We're collectively responsible.
I
Alright,
like the
I've
fact
just-
that this is
I've-
a game where everyone's a GM, so
Yeah.
we've all killed characters.
Yeah, so I've drawn
Well,
a
I
giant
claim first
gravestone
blood.
with a skull on it. So that's my weird graveyard place.
Cool.
So, Todd.
I think one of the laborers went back to the village and discovered that there was not just the one stasis pod, and are going to attempt to revive more of these creatures that resemble our priestess of war.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, I've got an
Nice.
idea.
I like that. I like that.
Alright. Well, make a project, and then we will tick down the others. Did we tick down your one last turn, Emily, or not?
I didn't. Sorry. So no.
Doesn't it fail because
One.
it's outside the village?
No,
Wasn't that
no,
what?
that was
No.
that was
We've
one of the
started a new
choices. I
project
chose the
on
other
the edge
one.
of the map.
Oh,
We
you
have
took
it.
the sorry.
Yeah,
Yep.
we didn't have any inside the settlement, so it was just gonna be just a screw over end project.
So Emily, yours
Yeah.
should be 1 now, shouldn't it? It'll tick
But the
Yeah,
question
I
is,
think
how long does this project
If it's
last?
a lot of people, it's got to be like 5 or 6.
Mm.
Not only
Yeah, I
that,
feel like
but
5.
we have to figure out how we revive them as well.
Yeah, true.
I mean, but then like we have one of them
So,
Yeah.
living with us, freely sharing
Yeah.
knowledge.
Pod
I-
technicians,
I-
or are they like a fishmonger?
Exactly. Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
no more than 5. Like maybe even.
how many cards do
Yeah.
we have left? Just
No, we could do 5. If we're
Okay.
lucky.
Nah. Yeah, I'd go 4. I'd vote 4. Luke votes 2.
Yeah, I think honestly it's as simple as getting there because they can get directions to how to do it.
What's your thought, Todd, on how much it should take?
I'm thinking 3 is a compromise between the two.
Yeah, I would do 4.
I mean, actually, there's a good point in that when the original project to go there was proposed, we all said, "Oh, it's a really, really long way away," but then it ended up happening in 1 week. So that leads me to think that there's like a shortcut or some other way of getting there that we now know that we didn't know originally. So that supports the idea of it being like less time. So I can see 3.
All right, 3 it is.
Okay. And then all the actions tick down.
Yeah, I've done that.
Okay.
And your.
And then I think we discovered something new. Those that were
I thought that was just a big gasp, but it was a
It was, and then it turned into a yawn.
I think those that were risen by Kemi
Oh god.
now at all times are that mist shape.
Yes.
Yeah, because she's died.
Yep.
Mm.
All right. I'm gonna deal a card. 1 card to Ashton.
Suspense.
All the animals and young children are crying and won't stop. Hold a discussion about this, in addition to your regular action for this week. Or, a great atrocity is revealed. What is it? Who uncovers it?
I mean, choose an atrocity, right? Like,
Which one?
yeah, which one? Which great atrocity?
I think now that everyone who was revived is like revealed to be mist form at all times, it becomes apparent that that there are no children who are not mist form now.
Yes.
Those who went to war against the believers in the non-religion saw the children who flocked to Obi, and the ones who flocked to the girl, and slew them as they saw fit.
Yes.
They have not. They died they died moons ago. Now they walk among us as mist.
Ah,
That's dope as hell.
that's so sad.
That's so fucked up. I love it.
How many people are left?
We
Like
started out with
4?
60 to 80 people, and
Yeah.
then we
We
added
definitely
some.
don't have 60
Well,
to 80 people.
We added misbreathers and we added refugees, so we probably have like.
I reckon we've about
4
broken
left.
even.
We haven't added misbreathers yet.
I
But,
know.
well, no, like you mean to the world? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
No, we killed all the refugees.
No, most of them.
And most of them. That's true. Oh my god. We need to go in like the GM equivalent of like a shame circle for dice. Like this is terrible. Oh.
I don't know. Like, I feel like we should all go and find our nearest like story gamer, hang out, and like tell the story and get high fives from everyone.
Probably.
Emily, tell us about how the
Yeah.
misbreathers
Yeah.
are welcomed into the fold.
Yeah. So here's the thing, though. I make all these jokes about, like, oh my god, and turns out that everyone's dead. But I feel like, yeah, all goes well. The mission goes out to meet with the elders. They ask for a contingent of people to come and live in the village. Some deliberation is done, and then a group of volunteers are found, and they return to the village. And it should be a joyful time because the numbers have been bolstered in this darkest of winter. Only now the people of the village know what ghosts look like, and when these mist breathers step into the boundary of the village, they look just like the children, and no one's quite sure what to make of it. But they're here, and they can speak, and they can make choices and celebrate and love. So they join us.
Golly. Do you want to move them into the village?
Sure.
Or can you do that?
Well, I won't move them all because I think that not everyone
Okay,
comes
alright,
along.
cool.
But
All right. My action. There is a discussion. These laborers. They took our children, our future away from us, and our people have a scarcity of fertility. The ones that the ones that do not are the mist breathers and this strange person who has come from a pod. What future do our people have now that they have done this? They've doomed us, and we should send them into the bagger.
That's a declaration?
That's a declaration.
Yeah, cool.
I think the people who just came back with the mist breathers say what they have done is dark indeed, but we cannot afford any more deaths. Do we not remember how it was when we fought the jackals? Now we are just fighting each other.
I think the stranger, the human outsider speaks up and says, the ways of your ancient ancestors set honoring the elderly above almost all else. The only higher principle was to protect the future of the tribe.
Children were cursed and bewitched by the false prophets of the Crow and the Kappa. Their deaths, while sad, were necessary.
Alright, well that makes it Emily's turn to draw a card.
Where has it even gone? Right there. Okay. Wow. You see a good omen. What is it?
Yay!
That's what this card says. You see a good omen. What is it? Like, we need
Oscar
a good omen.
Skylark returns.
A good
Bird with a-
omen.
Blue breast.
Yeah,
A bird with whatever color is the opposite of a bird with an orange breast. Haha.
Yeah.
We'll be quiet now.
Good omen. No, it's fine. A good omen. What is it? Wow. What good omens are there to be found in this hellish landscape? Oh, no, I know it. I know exactly what it is. A child is born. Yeah,
That's so
a child is
good.
born.
If I had any contempt, I would discard it because I feel like that contributes to the health of the community.
Yep.
I'm discarding
Yeah.
one of mine though.
Yeah, and like to no one of significance, just a couple, some of the survivors. I guess everyone's of significance at this point. Yeah, a couple who
Right, you
who
only
had
got
long ago,
30 neighbors left.
Yeah, exactly. A couple who had long ago given up hope of ever, ever birthing a child. But yeah, it happens. And for my action, For my action,
We took down the clocks, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we discover something new. I think that what is the project to wake up the other humans? What's that at now?
It's at 1 right now.
It's at 1, okay. And it's just ticked down? Yeah.
That I ticked it down.
Yeah, it'll
I ticked
happen
it down
next,
to 1.
next turn.
It ticks over on my turn next.
Yeah. No, okay then. In that case, I'd like to hold a discussion.
Okay.
I'd like to hold a discussion. I think one of the children makes a statement. These are like keeping in mind that all of the children bar one are kind of incorporeal now, but they have agency here, and I think the children speak up and they say, we're afraid of the coming of these sleeping people. When they wake up and come here, we're afraid we'll disappear. We're afraid we won't exist anymore.
I think the outsider, the human outsider, speaks up and says, the Kappa was old when my culture was young. We have no power over it and its works. And its works, like, clearly in this context refers to the undeathness of them.
It should be so that your light leaves now. Know that you will not be forgotten, even as new lights are found.
I think I think there is a midwife who says this child is hope for our people and hope for what we are. There is anchor here left for you. Cool. Look.
All right.
Not with that many left.
It's such perfect timing. The King of Winter. The Frost Shepherds arrive. The game is over.
Oh my god, that is such fucking perfect timing!
I would like to propose, because I've been thinking this for a while now, and I think the timing just cements it.
The people
The
who
remaining humans in the pods are the Frost Shepherds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking that. I was like, man, if they wake
Absolutely.
up, it's them.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep. I completely agree.
Wow. Gosh.
I think, whew, man.
Yeah.
Whew,
Whew.
I gotta say, like, I can't remember which document it's in. Who remembers the one explaining the deck, maybe? There's one of these documents that talks about what happens in each season. Does anyone remember which one that was?
Let's have a look.
Like it talked about the kinds of things that will happen in pacing, maybe?
Pacing, yeah, it is.
Explaining the deck.
No, yeah, it's pacing. In
Pacing.
winter, the community will continue its work and preparations, and as players, we will contend with the dramatic irony of knowing that the Frost Shepherds could arrive at any moment. I was feeling that hard.
Oh, definitely.
Like, we were like,
Same.
oh yeah, we make a discovery. Oh yeah, we have hold a discussion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we start a project. And I was just like,
Yeah.
oh, these poor fools, they don't even
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
Any moment it could come crashing down.
It's
I was
it's such good
interesting-
design from that
I was
perspective.
really interested in seeing whether the Frost Shepherds were the humans or
Yeah.
the dead,
The mist one.
the mist people, or
Yep.
the parish,
Yeah, or the parish, exactly.
Yeah.
They
Or
could
the
have
bear.
also been.
or the
Yeah,
bear.
yeah, or the bear.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I think-
same.
I
All
think
of
the game
those
has
crossed
told us
my
pretty
mind.
clearly there that it's the humans.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
The humans
And
of old.
I'm so curious to know like what they find when they get there. Like my instinct tells me that like it's some weird situation where almost like and I guess this is a little bit like, oh, you know, then they woke up, but not quite. But like I feel like to me that the kind of result we came to was that like everyone in that town and in the mist were like ultimately like these weird sort of like echoes of humans that were never
Like, the
kind
second-
of truly corporeal anyway.
I think,
Yeah.
like, the second he said that we weren't humans, I got a flash of, like, super, like, angular beings with, like, almost, like, amphibian, like, webbing and stuff.
Yeah, totally. For some reason, my mental image went to like I don't remember what they were actually called, like the engineer creatures in Prometheus,
Right.
like gray and kind of like with like
Mhm.
humanoid features, but like
Mhm.
very like exaggerated.
Mhm.
That was kind of what I was picturing. But
Yeah. Like somehow something that happened in the apocalypse, like just
Changed
left
us.
these weird like
Yeah.
God, I have such,
yeah,
like,
echoes
tightness.
is kind of the best like word that I can like, think of.
so now we just gotta play a whole like massive game of like Dream Askew or Apocalypse World to be the prequel to
Yep.
this.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
every
Mm.
time I talk about doing prequels with Apocalypse World, I just remember Adam Coble and the Roll20 Apocalypse World
Oh man, that was
and how like insanely perfectly the endings of them synced up down to like Andrew playing the character who became the
Yeah.
That was
Absurd.
such a great campaign. I
that
yeah.
was
I
yeah.
think actually, was that the first one of
That was
Adam's
the
campaigns
first-
that we watched, Ash? I think it was
Oh.
certainly. I think it was the first one we ever watched.
It was the first
Um,
20. Was
Yeah, it was the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
100%.
Yeah, whereas I had watched the
Such-
first one back when it came out.
Mhm.
So I was like
Yeah,
at the
amazing.
end as it
First
was
one, but
happening, I was like
but
I was
we
like,
haven't-
oh shit,
we haven't
it's
finished
the
other-
Minotaur in the labyrinth. Oh fuck.
we
Like it
haven't-
was
we haven't
mind blowing.
finished that yet, Luke.
Oh, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
it's true. We haven't, but it's fine. It's fine. I
Okay.
sort of didn't pass entirely what you said on
Um,
purpose. So.
But
I
yeah,
apologize.
No, it's
No.
okay. I'm not a person who's particularly fussed by spoilers, in that I think it's important to like recognize the journey there. And this has been a pretty cool journey.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this game is almost an exercise in that, right? Because we know how it's going to
Yeah.
end.
Exactly.
Shepherd's
It's
Right.
entirely predestined.
Yeah.
We know what's going to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
All that
we
matters
knew-
is how we get there.
Exactly, and it's great because it specifically says that. I mean, I guess it says we may not survive the encounter. So I suppose it leaves it open. Like
in my
the frost
head,
shepherds
in my
may,
head, the frost
may come
shepherds,
and-
the humans, are not offensive. They're not. Like,
No,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like,
I don't
it's-
think they do it on purpose. I
Yeah.
think it's like that's why. Yeah, I made that discussion about like the
Yeah.
feeling the kids had because I feel like it's this thing that happens. Like when they arrive, somehow that shifts the balance.
Yeah, like
And-
the living, those still left living are like almost like bred out of
Yeah.
existence.
Yeah, and like
Exactly.
Like
between like being bred out and being like
Sick.
decimated by disease.
yeah, and like the dead probably wavering and starting to disappear.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the mist probably starting to recede, which
Yeah.
like kills off the mist breathers. Like I feel like
Well,
it's
no,
almost the
like,
next.
Like one of the things that the humans will have to do to make a space safe for themselves is make spaces without the mist.
Exactly,
Exactly.
right? Like
We've
yeah, like I
established
think
that
it's
they can't breathe the mist. Properly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it's like
Yeah,
they.
so-
I think it's they do what they've got to do.
Mm.
Like you know,
Imagine-
and it like almost just as an afterthought, like
Yeah.
Mistperch in
It's
all of
just
its.
it's colonization, right? Like
Yeah.
like these people
Yeah.
come in,
Yeah.
think they know what's best. They consider this space to be like basically theirs because they lived here previously.
It was
Yeah.
theirs before, yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, you people have been living here, but you know, like we own
That's
this
my
place,
castle.
so like we'll let you stay in the slums, and if you slowly die out and get
Yeah.
brought out, that's your own problem.
Yeah,
Also, somebody's gonna be super pissed that their painting's ruined.
Yeah.
So
Well,
spent
I
a lot of
mean-
time on that painting.
I mean, I don't know. Like there's a question, right? Like, was the ruins that we were living in, was that a human settlement, or was that from our own people a long time ago,
I
from like the
feel-
same era as the
yeah.
Hall of Heroes?
Yeah.
That's a
Like-
good question. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like either of those.
No,
Kind of like either of those.
a lot
I
of
also
questions.
like the idea that the painting is to the humans completely inconsequential. Like it was just some random piece of,
Yeah.
crap that happened
Yeah.
to be left there. But of course,
Yeah.
because the Mistperch like villagers were so intent on
Mimicking.
mimicking exactly human culture that they took this and went, this is a precious, like an important work.
Yeah. I feel like almost that like leans further into your like kind of like angle about like the only like partial reality of the citizens of Mistperch. It's
Mm.
like human, like compared to human lives and human wills and like the burning flame of like human consciousness. Like we were such a feeble glow that like even just like a random painting that a human like cared about in a vague way once to us was like this blazing beacon of like meaning.
Yeah. Oof, sad. So sad.
Yeah, I know.
So good. So sad.
Yep. Story gamers.
Wow.
Well, that's very cool.
I think
that's
we'll
very
wrap it
cool.
up then.
Yeah.
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 Let's do some
Sounds
shout
good.
Emily, do you want to tell us who you are, who
Sure.
you've been, where we can find you?
Sure. Yes. I'm Emily. I've been one of the killer GMs today. Thanks. This was really, really fun. I really like this game. Yeah, I am. You can find me on Twitter at Blackwall Says. I make art and films, and sometimes I do art for games and stuff. Yeah, and you will also probably find me here in future episodes. I think we're starting a campaign kind of soon, and I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm keen. Cool. Luke, tell us about yourself.
Hello, I am Luke. If you ask one of the kids I work with, they will tell you that I am a killer GM 99% of the time. You can find me on Twitter at Wildwoods Games. You can find me at my blog, gamesfromthewildwood.blogspot.com.au, where I blog about game design and GMing for children and like house rules for a variety of games. I stream sometimes. I stream both like regular campaign and also increasingly I stream like game design stuff for games that I'm writing. Probably to celebrate the release of soon to be, I'm sure, award-winning role-playing game Monster Hearts 2. I'm probably going to stream creating a couple of skins for that because that's a thing that I enjoy doing. And I have a Patreon if you would like to back me doing cool stuff. Also, hopefully, if all goes well, I have a game coming out near the end of June. But certainly, failing anything else, I will be playing that game on Eric Vulgaris' channel at the end of June. So you can go check that out when it happens. It'll be cool. You should come.
I noticed that there are still spaces on the sign-up sheet for that game.
Do it.
I might
Put your name down in that newcomer slot. Eric wants you to. You heard him. You heard his impassioned.
I know, that was so funny. I was
game.
just like, when I came in, I was like, how do I sign up for this waiting list? And everyone's like, waiting list? What the shit are you talking about?
Yeah, Eric's like, fucking play story games.
Just sounded like maybe there was a list or something.
All right, I'm done. Sorry.
That's right. Todd, give us the spiel.
I'm Todd. You can find me at Hawkodley on Twitter, Twitch, Discord. I work at a hotel, so my hours have to line up with all you Australian folk.
Yay! Good.
And I will be GMing a game of 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons set in a Renaissance Robin Hood setting.
So keen.
As soon as we find a 4th member, because these 3 lovely people will be joining me.
I'm going to play a druid.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to play yet. I haven't decided.
Yeah.
Cool.
Keen.
You should also be a druid. We should just all be druids.
Just full druid party.
Full druid party. Full druid party.
I'm sorry. It's not. That's at that point it stops being Robin Hood.
Fair.
So, I've been one of the co-GMs today. I'm Ashton McCallan, a CGIAC, ACEGIAK. That's a CGIAC on Twitter, Twitch, and CGIAC.net for my website. And you've been watching I'm Not Trying to Kill You. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be back next week. Bye!